Today I'm going to show you some tricks on how you can get pretty good distorted sounds or heavily overdriven sounds out of an absolutely clean Fender amp, okay? And for that matter, I'm using a Fender Strat, not really the most thought of guitar when you think of kind of heavy overdrive. And this is not super heavy overdrive that we're doing. You know, obviously if you wanted to play really overdriven sounds, you'd have humbuckers most likely. You'd have a more driven type amp than I have. But if you're looking for just versatility and to get what I think is a really good overdriven kind of classic rock sound, and even a kind of a heavy metal sound, right? You can pretty much get it out of a good Fender clean amp if you know how to use some basic pedals and how to stack up overdrives. It can be done. I'm just using a standard Fender Strat here. Well, not quite standard. I have what's called a blend mod, which means this control down here allows me to, when I'm in the bridge position here, allows me to roll in some of the neck pickup. Some of the neck pickup to just kind of like tame the highs. I don't know if you could hear it here, but this would be just the bridge pickup by itself. And it's got that typical bite that you'd expect from a Strat, right? But watch what happens, or listen to what happens as I roll this control down. What it's doing is it's bringing in some of the neck pickup, and it really allows you on the fly when you're live to kind of just tone down some of that high end and get a little bit more fatness to the guitar without having to roll the tone knob down. This is now a master tone, because as we all know on a Strat, sometimes when you roll the tone, it kind of just changes the quality of the sound. It doesn't really just roll the tone off. It kind of, I don't know what it does. It just adds this kind of weird nasally sound. That being said, I do keep the tone generally on like 8 or 7.5, 8, and so it's not completely dimed. Anyway, I'm getting off the subject. So what am I running through? I'm running through a vintage 1973 Fender Vibrolux, which is a silver-faced, clean amp, right? If I shut off the two pedals that I'm using, and I will tell you what they are if you stick around. So let's shut off the two pedals, right? Put my guitar on. This is a dead clean sound. I'm running down the road trying to loosen my load. I got a bunch of women on my mind. Yeah. Okay. Now that that's out of my system. Dead clean amp. I mean, so if we were out playing with this amp, we could literally switch to our neck position here and like okay, we have a pretty good clean sound. Alright, I'd be able to dial that in a little bit tighter to where I want, but you get the idea, right? So, let's say we're on a good clean sound. We want a little bit more hair. Let's say we're doing a strummy part, but a strummy part that wants just a little bit of an overdrive, right? For the record, this amp right now is on like, volume is like 2.5, treble 6, bass 4.5, a little bit of reverb. I'm keeping it very low because I'm in an apartment and I don't want to have to start messing with the camera mic and doing an outside, I don't want to have to do recorded audio and sync it up. I'm trying to keep this simple so I could just get this information to you, right? Without having to edit too much audio. Clean sound. The first pedal I'm using is a blues driver. Just a good old Boss blues driver. If I click it on now, and I've got it at about 11 o'clock on the level and 11 o'clock on the gain. A little more hair, right? And the tone I have a little bit less than halfway. just for the sake of having it on. Right now, I'm not worried about dialing it in. You could dial it in to taste. So now you have a little bit more hair. All in all, not a bad sound. I have that blues driver going into a super overdrive, which is another Boss pedal, a simple, inexpensive pedal. It's that old yellow overdrive pedal, which can be used on its own for a little bit more of kind of a little more snarly. Okay, and I have this one at about, levels at about 11, drive is at about noon right now. Mostly because it was dialed in for my stacked sound. So this is not, you know, you play with the knobs how you want, but whatever, I'm playing it wrong, but you get the idea, right? Just a little bit more attitude, okay? But what happens now if I turn on both pedals, okay? I get a really kind of a distorted sound, but with not a superly saturated distortion sound, which I personally like. Okay? Now, what happens is we can take our first pedal's level and use it to push the gain on the second pedal. Okay? So if we raise the level on the first pedal and the gain on the first pedal, which in this case is the blues driver, right? We're driving the yellow pedal, the super overdrive, and getting it to kind of compress more or saturate more. It's kind of like when you use the volume and gain knob on like a Marshall amp or an amp that has a built-in overdrive. You know how you can keep the volume low and push the gain? Well, that's kind of what we're doing here. Our first pedal will be kind of like pushing the gain, and our second pedal's level control will be the volume. So right now I've got the level on noon on my blues driver, okay? And I'm going to use the level on my super overdrive to determine my ultimate volume. So what? A little bit more overdriven. Well, I could push the gain on the first pedal a little bit more, right? And I could even bump a little more gain out of the second pedal. Let's see. Even getting some of those nice harmonics, right? So here we went from completely clean to slightly overdriven, to pretty heavily overdriven, with a Fender Strat on a Fender Vibrolux amp with just two simple pedals. Okay? If you like this content, like and subscribe. I know this is a quick video and I haven't done many recently, but I'm trying to get back into the swing of things here. So bear with me. If you like the content, stick around and I'll try to make some more videos for you soon. I'm Frank Persico. Have a great day.